All right, moving right along. COVID-19. COVID-19 is airborne and has mutated. Studies say it could potentially be more infectious. Absolutely. This one is tough because I've been hearing seeing so many just really uneducated, uninformed statements made on either social media, in person, that have to do with our safety. I feel like I need to say this just to make sure that at least the message coming from me needs to be consistent. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put a couple of links once again down in the description below so that you can follow along, or at least I can hip you to some of the doctors that I've been following so that you can follow the data instead of the politics. What I will say is this, and I'm going to keep this short because it's pretty freaking simple. COVID-19 is not a hoax, okay? Masks will help keep you safer. They will protect you and the people around you. And of course it's airborne. That was proven very early that it was airborne. To be completely honest with you, the idea that Corona was less likely to be contracted through the air was a ploy to get you back to work. And I feel as though it was a strategy to give the American population a false sense of security. Whether it was done maliciously or whether it was just done with neglect, I don't know, I can't say. But what I will say is this, is that there is a dangerous virus out there that 80% of the population that gets don't show any symptoms. Now, I'm gonna try to be brief. I contend that what people don't realize about a virus is a virus doesn't want to die, doesn't want to kill its hosts, it just wants to use its host to replicate itself. It is a piece of RNA that is dead set on finding a host and becoming whole. And that's just what it does. What people don't realize is that out of the 20% that do have symptoms, 10% go to the hospital, and half of that, 5%, don't make it out of the hospital. That means roughly about 5% of the population that do get this thing, it can be a little bit less, I would be willing to bet that it's a little bit more, don't live. And those are unacceptable numbers. There's over 300 million people in the United States. Do the math. If say 1% of them died, just do the math, right? And just do the math, okay? But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go here. And I did wanna just break down what a virus really is. And at least once again, I'll put this link in there, and if you wanna follow along, you can follow along. The part that I really wanted to get into is just this part here. When an infected host cell is forced to rapidly produce thousands of identical copies of the original virus. When not inside an infected cell or in a process of infecting a cell, viruses exist in the form of independent particles, or virins, okay? Consisting of genetic material, i.e. long molecules of DNA or RNA that encode the structure of the proteins by which the virus acts. A protein coat the capsid which surrounds and protects the genetic material, in some cases an outside envelope of lipids, okay? The shapes of these virus particles can range from simply helical to icosahedronedral. I don't know how many sizes that. Oh wait, I love Google. Wait, go back to that. Okay, so icosahedron, okay, how many? 20 faces. So a 20-sided structure. Most virus species have virins too small to be seen with an optical microscope, as they are 1/100th the size of most bacteria. Now, if I were to take a camera right now and the light were to hit it just right in this room where there's no windows, where the window is closed, the only air coming in is coming from underneath the door, and if I were to shine it just right, there is dust particles floating in the air. there's spit particles floating in the air between me and just the camera right here. If any of that material, if I happen to be infected, lands on your face or your nose or gets into your system and grabs hold, this particular virus will use you to replicate itself. That's just how it works. Anyways, look, I'm not gonna get super deep into it. I just need everyone to understand that, it's pretty freaking simple. Viruses travel via touching things, your face, these are your open areas, and it's in the air. Air conditioning is blowing it around. The reality is that people need to stay inside. That's all I'm gonna say on this one. Like I said, Dr. Fauci had a pretty cool conversation about a 30-minute video. I'm gonna put that link in the description below also. I still think that he doesn't quite give it the same type of intensity that I think he needs to, but things that he says are really important.